Corey here with another podcast for Healing Through Yarning. Another brother's invited us out to their house today. Always a privilege coming into different people's houses. So I'll throw over to the brother, introduce himself.
Yes, my name's Daniel Ella. Everyone knows me as Del. Come from a beautiful place, La Perouse. And and also the South Coast, bro. So
Nice, bro.
Yawn country.
Beautiful yawn country down there, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, thanks for inviting us out here. As you've seen, feel the podcast and what it's about and what we're having a yarn about. So today, we'll start with, I guess, your journey, where you stay. You said at Lapa, so how was it for you going out there?
Bro, everyone says God's country, but, it was unreal. Close to the water. Yeah, it was a big footy scene, close to the city, which I didn't really appreciate till, after I was 18, but it was beautiful, bro. I wouldn't change it for a thing. Beautiful people. Mostly everyone's family out there, so yeah.
No,
Grew up
beautiful.
fishing, diving, surfing, in the water nearly every day, so
Yeah,
we're quite blessed with that.
yeah. Have you been out there setting you the wharf yet?
I have, mate. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a laugh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It sort of reminds me when Dad tells me stories when the old wharf used to be there when they used to dive in for coins.
Yep.
I just driven past, but yeah, it was a bit different. It's been a while since I've been out there, but a bit of a shame, but yeah.
No, that's all good, bro. So yeah, you said you touched on football there. So how did you play football growing up? And
I did, brother. Played for Southeastern for most of my little junior career anyway, until I was 14, and until I went to play for Lava. Until I actually got, started becoming a man, and I think Lava turned me into the man, it was hard footy, hard guys. Being an Ella, I wanted to be a footballer all my life, I prided myself in trying to be a footballer. Then took another turn, got injured at 16, nearly 17, which turned me onto the dark side. But I love footy. Footy was just all I wanted to do. I still want to play, but the missus has got other thoughts. But yeah, my brain says I can do it, but my body, no way.
and that's the thing with it, working life and stuff like that is, where do I take that risk now?
Bro, a big mortgage hanging over your head every week, it's stupid. It's just honestly stupid. I understand where she's coming from. I won't say that because she's here, but she'll be watching.
This ain't the only mic and camera.
Yeah, she got them everywhere, bro.
Yeah. Little snoz there's got them everywhere.
But seriously, there's cameras there. There's cameras up here.
But yeah, so I guess playing football, and as you touched on being an Ella, so I guess playing football, did you think that was an extra burden?
It was, mate. It really was. But I look at it now going, I can't believe how silly I was, but how gifted of an opportunity I had, and I just pissed it away. But it was. But Dad had pretty big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
He's perfect in my eyes, even off the field, but rugby, I was better at rugby than I was in league. I don't know what it was, but it was just, I'm not going to say it was easy, because that's not what I'm saying, but I found it easier.
Yeah.
I knew what I had to do. I knew I could see 4 plays in front of me, and I knew how to get the guys to where I wanted to put the points on, just the competitiveness. Hated losing. Yeah. So I knew what I had to do, and it always helped. I had pretty good players around me, so it was just so like I said, once I was about 16, I went backwards and forwards from league and union, and I should have just stuck it out with union, but it is what it is. I just like having fun with the boys.
Yeah. Do you think a part in that is, historically, for us as blackfellas, we play rugby league, not rugby union. So for you, that going to play rugby union, you might have had 1 or 2 brothers, where you're going back to Lapa and playing with the whole side with brothers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The culture at Lapa, bro, was unreal. A little bit silly to say this, but I was a little bit blinded by cultural stuff. But once I started going out Lapa, I was like, whoa, is this what Aboriginal? This is what the fellas are like. This is what
Yep.
the men I had to look up to. I had some freaking incredible men to look up to.
Yep.
E-Pair, my Uncle Timmy, Uncle Richard, Uncle Bruce, and all these lads were just unbelievable footballers.
Yeah.
Had the pleasure to play like the likes of Matty Rook and Freddie Briggs, Morgie, the big bullhead. But like some of these guys were incredible, man.
Yeah.
Taught me a lot, hardened me up.
Yeah. And it's funny, you look at those older fellas, but one fella that he played alongside, and I went to school, he was posh. he was a freak.
Bro, it's a shame that it only turned out the way it turned out for him. The media were out to get him even after the first game. He's the closest thing I actually have to a brother.
Yeah.
And growing up with him, like always going down his house in the south coast, and before we were 14, and then when he moved to Sydney, pretty much nearly not to say he lived at our place, but he was at our place every time, every day. And watching him grow up into the man he became, he was leagues and leagues in front of everyone.
Yeah.
Like I'm a little bit biased, because he's my brother pretty much, but I'll put him in the same league as GI.
Yeah.
He was strong. He was probably stronger. He was probably quick. Oh, maybe not as quick, but the ball skills he had on him.
Yeah.
Like, what a freak.
Yeah.
My cousin Wiley as well, bro.
Wiley was a freak.
He should have made it.
Yeah. Wiley was just he couldn't be away from home too long. That was his big thing.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly.
But yeah.
Love my brothers, if you're watching.
Yeah, so yeah.
I miss you.
Yeah, Poss, it's one thing with Poss, so he let his mouth do more talking than his legs sometimes. I give it to him every time. The yarn around Brayford and Astor.
I didn't want to bring that up. But yes, I was there at that game, bro, and I could see from where I was sitting. Like, I was like, Rick, come on, and then, but I don't feel sorry for him because he dug his own grave, but Brave didn't have to go to fucking the media and
have a sook.
And have a sook, bro. Like simple as that. Like, if you say you played Origin, you said you've done this and done that, be a bigger man, mate.
Yeah.
Like, don't sit there and whinge about it.
Yeah.
Like, that pretty much ruined Rich.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, his football career anyway. That's sorry, but yeah.
Yeah. The other story. The other stories for Rich to tell. Yeah. But yeah, so I guess you're going to league, and from Union, was there for you? Again, I know it was more around sometimes hang around the brothers and stuff. But did your dad want you to go to Union, or?
He just wanted me to be happy, bro.
Yeah.
He knew I was good. Like I said, after I'll go to this side story first, bro. After I did my collarbone, I kind of lost interest.
Yeah.
I started drinking and smoking, and he sort of realised, he's lost a drive.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to pressure him to pursue a code. I just want to make him happy.
Yeah.
So he didn't care. He was my biggest fan.
Yeah.
Biggest critic. Like, I was, Dad, I'll drop the ball. He goes, you drop the ball once all game. Why are you dwelling on? What about the other 20 things you did good?
Yeah.
You set up this try. You scored 2 tries. And can't you just be happy? I was like, I'm trying to be perfect.
Yeah.
Because no one's perfect, mate. Like, But But it was good. But
yeah.
It was stupid, but like I said, I should have stuck with it.
Yeah.
Just Union because. But like I said, once I lost that interest after South, my depression went downhill.
Yeah.
So I just didn't have the drive for it anymore.
Yeah, look, hindsight's a hell of a thing.
Yeah. I know, mate.
Things we would have gone back and done differently. But I guess looking fast forward and all the way till today, without those experiences, you wouldn't be where you are today.
Bro, and I had to go through all those experiences to be where I am today. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
I remember Mum had a bit of a yarn the other day, a couple of weeks ago, and she was a little bit upset. But I tell her, Mum, that was my journey.
Yeah.
Like, this is what I had to go through. I know it was hard for you and Jess and Dad, but like, are you proud of me now? Like, this is look what I got. Like,
Yeah.
Look where you're sitting right now, because we was just sitting on the kitchen table there. But
Yeah.
sacrificing going away just to put keep everyone happy. Not keep everyone happy, but just to put food on the table, you know?
Yeah.
Because Dad, Mum pretty much had to grow me and my sister up. I'm not saying by herself, because Dad, we come from a very loving family.
Yeah.
Dad was gone nearly 10 months of the year coaching.
Yeah.
He was travelling the world just to put food on the table.
Yeah.
Do what he was good at, chasing his dream. Like, you know? And I understand, not just till I started working away, the actual appreciation he sacrificed.
Yeah.
Just to put food on the table.
Yeah.
Like I always say, you know, go, yeah, whatever. And when I was a kid, I used to have a bit of resentment, but now I appreciate it, and it makes me love him even more.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Both him and Mum. Like Mum had it hard because I was a sea of a kid.
Yeah.
You know, when it comes to like the drugs and alcohol and not being home and all that sort of stuff,
Yeah.
made it hard for him.
Yeah. So you touched on it. 16 is when you got injured, and in your words, that's the dark side come in. So what's that mean for you, the dark side, bro?
Bro, I got bored. I broke my collarbone, and then 6 weeks later I broke it again. And then I had to wait 2 months for surgery, so I had my arm in the sling. And then once I had surgery, I had it in there for another 6 months.
Yep.
Pins and plates, and had it out. And then I played footy with under 17s. And I couldn't play 18s because I had to get the pins and plates taken out. And so I was nearly out for nearly a year and a half of footy.
Yeah.
Bored. You know, when you want to become a footballer,
Yeah.
and you can't train, you can't do this. And it was quite easy, bro. I picked up the drink, started smoking ciggies, picked up the bong, and then I didn't turn back. Like it was bad. Like my football obviously paid the price when I did come back.
Yep.
My mental health wasn't there. I didn't want to train. Well, not like I ever wanted to train, but just didn't actually turn up to training. And then once, because I was still drinking and drugging when I was playing for South, and then I got drug tested.
Yep.
Turned positive, obviously, and then spiraled down the hill. Like it went plummeting. Like I was on the back page of the paper, Ella's son, drug cheat, playing for South, blah blah blah, and I was so embarrassed.
Yeah.
Like, Dad's done so well to make a name for himself, and then I hears me just nearly rubbishing it. Was embarrassing, but that's something I had to live through. And then, like I said, the depression, my alcoholism, and my drug addiction just picked up. It went skyrocket. Like I didn't have any limits. Went for 3 or 4 days on the regular.
Yep.
It was just, when I say drug, it was just the Yandy and the coke.
Yep.
I was in pills a little bit between about 18 and 20.
Yep.
And then it was just coke. And then once the coke hit me, bro, it was,
Yeah.
how you going? Like it was, go for days.
Yeah, but also, it's not cheap.
It's not cheap, bro. It's not cheap. And I didn't stop till I was nearly 2018. Well, we then? I don't know. I can't even remember.
7 years ago, yeah.
7 years ago. So yeah, I was 32.
Yep.
I was an absolute wreck. So Mum and Dad, I don't know if you know this yet, but I had 3 pretty piss poor attempts on my own life, bro, and I hit rock bottom so many times, and I just got over it.
Yeah.
And that's when I went to the Glen, and that saved my life.
Yep.
It honestly saved my life, man.
Yeah, it's look, so many stories come through the Glen, but not only the Glen, other places, jail for some people. You know what I mean? And we touched on just before we started filming. You said on Uncle Glenn. Yeah, Collis.
Collis, yeah.
Yeah,
Him and Ed, Shonk, yeah. Shout out to the Glen boys. Bro, like they had the best guys in the best positions there, and they're obviously their interest is getting everyone sober and they get everyone healthy.
Yeah.
And they set the platform of staying sober and making the right decisions and all that sort of stuff. But I left the Glen and I was sober for nearly 3 years. I was just shy of 3 years.
Yeah.
But then me and Shanice went away for a weekend, and I said, look, because this pretty much that saved our relationship, bro, because we had a miscarriage and we weren't coping, we weren't talking.
Yep.
And I said, you know what, stuff it. well, I'll get on the drink with you and we'll talk this out. And we did. And it saved our relationship. That was 4 years ago now.
Yep.
But being a typical alcoholic and addict, I picked it back up
Yep.
for about a year and a half, and then I nearly lost everything again. Nearly lost Shanice. I'd sold the car, and I was just like, "What the hell's going on?"
Yeah.
Till I, slapped out of it and got sober again.
Yep.
I've been sober ever since. Well, I've had one or two drinks, but
Yeah.
not bad. It's not bad in 3 years.
Yeah. No, it's good, bro. It's it's especially to start again, start to lose everything, and then actually instead of thinking, well, I'm just going to run with this, to actually pull yourself up and say, well, nah.
Bro, because obviously what the Glen boys embedded in me was like, this is like I was like a camp,
Yeah.
and then when you left there, you're on your own terms.
Yeah.
You're going to go to meetings or doing all this, and I was thought, no, I can't do it. I can't go back down that way again, man. Like, it was gone 3-4 days, having 7 grams later, and I was just like, where's my money? Why's my nose hurt? I'm done.
Yeah.
Can't do it anymore.
No, it's good, bro. And I guess, so yeah, rewind a little bit there, and you said about the, drinking, the Yarndie, cigarettes. Was it just a progression of the drinking and the Yarndie when you led down the path of using coke?
Yes and no, bro. I was always a party animal sort of thing.
Yeah.
Even from like 17. Well, once I started it actually, but I wasn't really interested in it
Yeah.
until I actually got clubbing and stuff like that, and then got over the pills and all that sort of shit. And I wanted something different. Then once I touch something, I'm very addicted to it.
Yep.
I think I bought my first bag when I was 20, to be perfectly honest, bro. On my 20th birthday.
Yep.
So I actually remember it. And then that was it. I was fucked after that.
Yeah.
I was just so addicted to it.
Yeah.
Loved it. Like, to the point now, I can't even drink coffee because I get that same palpitations in my heart.
All
And
right.
it gives me PTSD about being on the coke.
Yeah.
It's strange.
Well, everybody regulates it their own way, bro, and that's for you. You know that feeling of the early onset of after use. That caffeine does the same thing for you, so
Yeah.
it's about managing that because you don't want to go down that avenue.
I can't even listen to dance music anymore, bro.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, bro, as a black fella, you shouldn't do this to dance music anyways, but that's a whole different point. Yeah, that's just the eastern suburbs and get out dance music. Bro.
It's not so funny, bro. I was actually thinking about it today. Like, we grew up about 10 kilometres away from each other, but totally different lives, eh?
Different lives, bro. Different lives. No dance music where I come from, bro.
Remember those under 18 dance parties sitting on the dance floor, bro? All the R&B rooms,
Yeah.
shaking our thing.
Yeah, just R&B room, bro.
Yeah, wouldn't leave.
No. But yeah, funny you say that, bro. Yeah, only 10 Ks as the crow flies,
Yeah.
Very different lives.
Yeah.
It's no ocean where I grew up, bro.
It was just 10 K's away.
Yeah, too far, bro. Too far in my comfort zone.
You'd come to Yarra when you played footy. You could see it from there.
Yeah. Left pretty much just up in the fingers. But yeah, no, it's funny, bro, because, and I guess I had a brother in the podcast dropping this week actually, and we're talking a lot about the postcode stuff going on at the moment. And it was funny, back then it wasn't postcodes. It wasn't. It was just football. That was our. You play for them, I play for them. But at the end of the day, we didn't really care.
Nah. Well, we always had that equal respect, bro. We were playing against Rovers or Redfern.
Yeah.
Like, it was blackfellas. We were brothers.
Yeah.
Even on the field, we were punch a shit out of each other. Off the field, we were absolute brothers. Let's go for a beer. Let's have a shit, huh?
Yeah.
Like, the respect I always had for you fellas was unreal. And like, I don't care about everyone else.
No.
Like,
No.
to take their heads off.
Yeah. For us, it was the same. Yeah.
If we played against you got to get it back.
Yeah. And it's funny because, we in our age group, we grew up playing against Coogee. Coogee was
Was out of 19s, eh?
yeah, but like all the way up from 13s, it was always us and them in the grand final, like type of thing. And Mascot was another good team.
well, there we go. No, not yet. No, it's been sticky meat.
Nah, so yeah, going back to Coogee, and there was a few brothers that played with them. Harley, I would always catch up.
He's married to my cousin, so
Yeah. I was always catch up with Harley and Evian. He goes, the other white fellas didn't get it in that team, you know, like, because we would play hard in the field, but after we'd have a laugh and have a joke. And he goes, but then we used to look at him differently because he goes, at the end of the day, we're black fellas, like. And it's funny. He goes. I think some still to today have resentment against Hughes the way he's played. It's like, and at the end of the day, it's once that
you can't hold on to that, bro. Once the whistle gets blown, it's done.
Yeah, so
forget about it.
Yeah, but it's funny because. And I think deep down Harley wish he played with us because we're all black fellas. He was just out there playing, you know.
Yeah, no, it took me some couple of years of convincing, but I ended up playing with him in the under-19s.
Yeah.
We ended up dusting us in the semis.
Yeah.
But one of the hardest games I remember in my life. Like, we think we beat us by one try in the end of the day.
Yeah.
But it was tough footy. Like, you had the best side. Buddy and the twins, Johnny, Kerner.
Yeah, Colonel come over and played then too. Yeah, but that's the same year they actually Bud played first grade, so we lost him halfway through the year, or even before halfway through the year. I remember that progression. He played with us one week. It might have been against Hughes, like early in the season. The next week he played Fleet. The week after that he played Prem, and then the next week he was playing first grade. It was like 4 weeks ago. I was literally playing under 19s in the park.
He was an incredible footballer, man.
No,
he's a good father too. He's a really good father.
Yeah, it's funny, I just watched a video of his missus post of his daughter last night scoring a runaway try, and I was like, that's Bud. like that, like she's palming and running. I was like, that's Bud to a T. It was funny, I was just watching it, even because she had number 11 on the back, and I remember when we were younger, but I had number 11, I was like, that's Bud.
No, I used to hate knowing it was kind of first years, man. Like, you knew you were in it for hard 60 minutes.
Yeah,
you know, you'd be hurting after it.
Yeah, same for us. But yeah, so it's, you know, football plays so much of a big life for us, and when that, like touching on your story there, you know, when football doesn't play out for us as blackfellas, we think that's all we can do.
Yeah,
you know, it's taken you a few more years to actually discover there's actually more to life than football. I can go work somewhere else and make same money that I might have been making there. You know, it's
like I said, bro. I'll go back to the school days. Like I knew I was going to make it from rugby. I had this in my head. I was going to be a Wallaby.
Yeah.
Come the end of year 11, the principal called us into the office.
Yep.
And he goes, I want to have your parents with you. I went, yep, sorry, I'll tell them to come up. I was like, fuck, am I in trouble? And then mum and dad were like, what did you do? And I was like, I did nothing.
Yeah.
I get there, and the principal says, mate, you didn't qualify for HSC. You didn't hand in any assignments. You were barely in class. And I was like, so what does this mean? Because you can't go to year 12.
Yeah.
I was like, and I look back at it now and I kind of giggle. I was like, who the hell gets kicked out of Maddo?
Yeah.
Well, we're not getting kicked out. Who gets asked politely not to come back?
Yeah.
It's Maddo High. And that sort of ruined me, bro. Like, I wanted to be a schoolboy. I wanted to be like this, follow the same steps as dad.
Yeah.
No. But anyway, that sort of just, I ended up getting a job, and then once I had the money, that was it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thought I was a man, but just a boy in disguise.
Yeah, trying to do
the manly things, bro.
what we think is the manly thing.
You know, going to the pub and, you know, just following the boys, getting on the drugs and whatever, but no. Should have just steered clear of all that, bro, and asked to repeat. I look at it back in hindsight, I should have stayed in school and studied my ass off.
Yeah.
It was funny because, like, in year 7, I was the highest in all my classes, didn't get a mark under 95, and being a Maddo, guys, I realised no one was trying, so I was like, why do I have to try?
Yeah. I'm a big believer in toxic breeds toxic. So being in that environment, you know, it's hard to... And look, credit to the ones that go through and persevere and do that, because I know when I was in school, for the ones that went through the year 12 at my school, and I finished in year 11 too, brother, big credit to them, because I Yeah, I was a C class. Like, if I was in their class and they still done their work, credit to them.
Bro, I was there to get girls and to play footy. And
Yeah.
they knew, the teachers knew that. And I was,
Yeah.
I was quite disruptive in the class and stuff like that, and I didn't care.
Yeah.
I was polite about it, but I didn't care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm surprised I didn't get kicked out earlier, to be perfectly honest, but.
Yeah.
Well, once that happened, bro, I was done.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's, for me, it's, listen to that, and I guess coming back to, at the age of going through the Glen and doing that, and then coming out of the Glen, what are some of the first, I guess, strategies and things you put in place to stay sober?
Well, it didn't last long, bro. But in the sense of, mum and dad and my sister come back, pick me up, proud as punch, of course. I didn't get home before I was already nearly in tears crying.
Yeah.
They told me all the stuff I've missed,
Yeah.
like how stressful life was.
Yeah.
And I was just like, because I was in this bubble cocoon, I was just like, shit. My first instinct was to pick up the drugs and drink.
Yeah.
And I had no one to stop me. I wasn't in rehab, but I couldn't go to pubs. Couldn't hang with the boys in the sense of I couldn't. Everyone usually goes to a pub on a Friday night.
Yeah.
And I told them, like, the guys like, you don't have to drink. We don't go to a pub. Like,
Yeah.
if we can go to someone's house, let's just relax and do something. They're like, nah. So I had to nearly cut off a lot of my friends just for a little bit till they understood I was actually serious about this, because I'm trying to get my life back on track and all that sort of stuff. It sucked, but just, like I said, stop hanging around some of the people. But the biggest thing was, bro, the fear of going back to where I was.
Yeah.
I was so happy where I am, and like even today, I don't want to turn into that person anymore, bro. Like I lost relationships, jobs. So I didn't steal or anything, but I sold cars just to cover drug debts and all that sort of shit. So it was. I was so scared to go back to that person.
Yeah.
Like I had a yarn to my sister like a year after rehab, and we were talking about I wasn't that bad, and she was in tears and nearly crying. Like, yes, you were.
Yeah.
I couldn't have a conversation with you. I didn't know whether you want to punch me in the face. I never hit my sister, sorry, but I was that confronting of a person. I was like in everyone's face yelling, and I didn't think I was that bad.
Yeah.
But as my 1 year anniversary, I ended up going back up to the Glen, and we went to an NA meeting, and I brought my dad along, and I just thought I've never. While I was in rehab, no one actually did this, to bring a parent up and tell them from a parent's perspective of having a son, addicted to drugs and alcohol and sort of stuff. Dad was halfway through it, bro, and I was hysterical.
Yeah.
I didn't think I was that bad.
Yeah.
But Chuck clearly was, like, how can I have put my parents, raised me right, done a beautiful job, and how can I just turn to shit?
Yeah.
Like I said, it scares the living hell out of me. Not much scares me, bro, but my old self does.
Yeah.
Like, the shit I got up to, the shit I did, nearly taken my own life, bro, it was, I think about it now, it gives me a good thing because I appreciate life.
Yeah.
It's so deep because I don't want to, I'm not scared of failing, put it that way, because I know I've failed so bad.
Yeah.
I can't do it any worse than that, bro. So it doesn't. I'm not scared of failing. I'm not having been so close to death, in the sense of like literally looking down at a cliff and stuff like that, going shit. Like nothing scares me anymore.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you want me to touch up on that, bro. But the first time, no, I'm not going to go there. But
No, it's all good, bro.
But the second time, bro, I was come off for 5 days.
Yeah.
Obviously, I was already depressed, but once you're in that drug heap and you got no money, you're feeling like shit. And I think Dad knew how bad I was and where I was. Because I did my back a couple of months earlier, and I could barely work. I could barely walk, let alone work.
Yeah.
And yet here's me going out for 5 days straight, and then he knew what was happening. So I ended up walking to Malabar, like in tears, cried the whole way. And the funny thing was, I got to the cliff. One, realised I'm scared of heights. Oh no, sorry, not scared of heights. I'm scared of falling.
Yeah.
So heights don't bother me, but it's the fear of falling. I sort of giggled to myself, and I thought, you know what? I'll give it a crack. I'll ring Lifeline.
Yep.
I rang Lifeline, and this actually saved my life, bro. So Lifeline, I rang them, and I got an answering machine.
I'd be sorry for that, bro.
Bro, and I seen the humour in it, and I pissed myself laughing. I go, I am physically like at my wit's end and about to take my own life, and I ring you just to save me, to talk me out of it. And you get an answering machine. Oh, bro! A couple of minutes later, so I was dangling over the edge. I didn't really think the thing was gone, but Dad tapped me on the shoulder. I guess what are you doing? Get away from the edge.
Yeah.
I think the third time, bro, I was done. This was it.
Yeah.
I had a knife to my stomach, and I was done. Lucky Mum and Dad walked up the stairs, and this was probably the biggest day of my life, the hardest day of my life, telling my Mum and Dad how bad I was.
Yeah.
I told them everything.
Yep.
The drug addiction, like they knew I was bad. Like, you know, you haven't seen me son for 3 days, like.
Yeah.
But till the point where, you know, I'm in nearly 20 grand debt. I have to sell a car. I'm just trying to take my own life. I've got the nice scar there, and so Dad got me help, went up to the hospital, and then a couple of. Right, and that wasn't even my rock bottom. You wouldn't believe it. That wasn't even my rock bottom. And then a couple of months later, and then I was hit rock bottom. And I said, no, Dad, I need to go to rehab. He made a couple of phone calls. My cousin, Steve, the Zip Zip, he's got connections up at Newcastle, Central Coast, and he got to me into the Glen a couple of days later.
Yep.
And bro, honestly, that would save my life. If I didn't do that, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now.
Yeah. No, thanks for sharing that, Brian. It's it's some of those real stories that happen for us, but we don't speak about because it's
Yeah, sorry, Mum and Dad. I'm sorry.
yeah. And look, and it's for you, it's thinking back and thinking what I put Mum and Dad through, but Mum and Dad can still come over and cuddle you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
you can visit me here in my house.
Yeah.
Sitting there going, seeing me a little bay at the cemetery, so.
Exactly right, bro.
But I came to a point where I knew I had so much more life to give, bro, and I was like, I'm not ready to give up.
Yep.
What kind of person would I be? I know I'll be dead, but have that people thinking, oh, Dell, he was such a good bloke.
Yeah.
He could have done this, he could have done that, but then I chose to go the weak way out. I've been to some funerals, bro. As you know, we've had some friends pass away, and I've had some friends pass away from suicide, and I've been really close with them, bro. And I've never shed a tear. I couldn't find myself. I thought it's so selfish, I didn't want that myself. So I was just like, no, I want to be like a good story and show people. Like I actually didn't. I think about it now, but back in the day, like. I can actually be a storyteller. Yeah. I told someone the other a couple of years ago. They go, "Dylan, you can write a book." I was like, "I can't read. How am I going to write a book?"
Yeah. Well, yeah. Looking at touching that suicide and your comment there, the selfish stuff around suicide. It's as you're in that state too, bro. You think there's no other way.
There is no other way, bro.
And in that. Like you look at it in hindsight and think I was being selfish.
Yeah, that's right. You thank you for better wording and better.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's for us. It's we think everyone in our life, no matter if we only got one person in life or 100, they're better without us here because I'm just a burden.
Yeah.
And so many, as you said, so many of our brothers and sisters have taken their own lives, and they get a bit of an insight of what was going on for you in your life and why you thought that was the only way out.
I thought I was by myself, bro. I thought no one else knew what I was going through. No one else has done this before. No one's been an addict before.
Yeah.
No one's been broke before.
Yeah.
Till I found those meetings, man. They put me in knowledge. Everyone here is going so good because of these meetings, and they come from just as bad, if not worse.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's interesting to hear you say that. Like, no one's been through this, no one's been through that. I do work with men adult survivors of child sexual assault, and do an 8-week group. And for them, some of them just coming to the group, and as weird as it sounds, but find a comfort in hearing it happen to somebody else.
Yeah.
And it's not a comforting,
No.
this happened to you,
No.
but it's like, I'm not the only one. And I think probably elements of that in addiction, when you go into rehab and that, and you're sitting with a group of collective people that have been through it, it's like, holy shit, I'm not the only one. So it's some of those light bulb moments for us that really make that change.
Yeah, one of the things I teach you in the rooms and in rehab and stuff, bro. What is it? I can't remember it now.
No.
Nothing changes if nothing changes.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. As silly as that sounds, and bro, like, it hit me so hard. Like, if I was so unhappy, and I was too scared to change, like, and I wanted to change.
Yeah.
You had to make these sacrifices to change.
Yeah.
To be better. Just to be normal.
Yeah.
Like,
Whatever that normal is.
normal things.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah,
But yeah.
Normal is.
But yeah, that, nothing changes if nothing changes. It's the same thing as the actual definition of crazy is doing the same thing and expecting a different result.
Exactly.
And it's how many people we see out there living that cycle.
After 16 years, bro, you get pretty fed up with it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly right, bro.
I'll just give you a quick tour of the house, bro. Like, I've been sober, like I said, I've been in Glen for nearly 7 years now. I wouldn't have never have thought. I've got 2 cars. I've got a beautiful big 2-story home with a pool,
Yeah.
bull-fed dog, a beautiful wife.
Yeah.
She's expecting, and like this never would have happened.
Yeah.
This never would have happened.
I wasn't going to touch on it, but now you've opened the avenue of expecting. I can tell you right now, and not to say I've been through the same stuff if you've been through, and I've had my own stuff, but fatherhood is the most scariest thing I've ever done in my life.
Bro, I've wanted to become a father since I was 16, bro. I'm really looking forward to it, but the more there's a weeks go on and I see that calendar clicking over, and I'm like, oh, am I actually ready for this?
Yeah.
I don't sleep as it is, but that doesn't bother me. But I've never changed a diaper before. I've never changed wiped someone else's bum.
You went for a rude shock like that.
If the baby smells as bad as me, bro, I'll be in trouble.
Bro, sometimes it's worse. And, bro, sometimes it's not just contained to the nappy. I don't know if you've ever seen an explosion before from a baby, but that's you can go into any mining site, any working remotely you want to do, bro, but you see that and you're like, holy shit, how did you get shit there? Bro,
I'm really looking forward to it, bro. But yeah, it is what it is.
yeah, bro, look, it's a beautiful, beautiful journey.
Yeah.
But also it's scary, bro, because, coming from a place of some days I don't know what I'm going to eat or where I'm going to go, to actually say, I actually got to know what I'm doing because I've got to feed somebody else.
Yeah. Well, I know I've got comfort in knowing I'm going to do a good job.
Yeah.
Just going by what my mum and dad did.
Yeah.
And look, you've got Leona and then Snoz.
Yeah.
They did beautiful with the girls and the boys as well. So, we've got monster support around us no matter where we look.
Yeah.
No matter where we go. We've got a phone full of people we could ring for support. And
Yeah.
yes, I know we live half an hour away.
Yeah.
But everyone else thinks it's 2 hours away, 3 hours away, but it's not.
I did get stuff from customs coming up here.
Look at you. But no, bro, I'm so blessed to have the family we got, man. So
Yeah.
we've got so much support.
Yeah, look, just from experience, just keep Snoz at a distance.
I work with you, bro.
Keep him at a distance. We don't want any of those influences on any other younger generations.
I'm like him now, bro. Like I said, I'm with you nearly every day at work.
Yeah.
I come home and Shanice's like, what are you saying? I was like, oh, I'm sorry, something your dad would have said.
I like she doesn't know. She talks exactly like me.
She's a very She was laying on the lounge last night and she was swearing her head off. I was like, what? Is you talk like this when you're at work? She goes, yeah. I was like, oh, God help you.
Yeah.
God help her.
Call her little snoz when she acts like that. Pulls her straight into gear.
Shut up.
Yeah, pulls her
shut
straight into gear. So yeah, it's and I guess talking on now what you're doing now and owning your own house and building that dream now with I'm not going to call Shanice beautiful because
No, she is.
she looks like her father. Nah, she knows I love her.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, and having a little family. Already got your one family member over there having a sleep.
Yeah, bro. So I work down the Snow Hydro, which is obviously down near the Snowy Mountains. I do 2 weeks on, 1 week off. But like I said before, bro, I know what the true word of sacrifice is.
Yeah.
Being away from home is pretty hard. I just came off 2 weeks of night shift, so like I said, I might have said before, but I've barely slept since Thursday.
Yeah.
But I love it. Like they feed you, I'm not spending any money, you get up and go to work, get yourself into a routine. I haven't been to the gym the last couple of swings, but I'll get there eventually. But it's good. It's a good little routine, man. So
No, that's
the money is incredible.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible. Like so once it makes it all worth it.
Yeah.
Like when you get to come home and you get to spend it, and you're putting a roof over your family and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
it makes everything. Sometimes I lose focus on I get quite upset being away, but I get so grateful for my gratitude, and I have to bring it back down. Like Shanice is at home struggling as well.
Yeah.
You need to get put food on the table, keep her happy and keep her healthy, and now you got like I said, got another one to feed now, so it's got a little bit more responsibility, which I'm grateful for.
Yeah.
So
No, deadly, bro.
it's unreal, bro.
Yeah, so there's a question I ask of everyone, bro. Just the last question. Mm-hmm. When it's all said and done, and you're in the dream time, how do you want Del to be remembered?
Oh, bro, happy.
Happy?
Yeah, just happy.
Yep.
Always grateful. I'm glad I'm getting into culture now, bro. So big believer in all that sort of stuff, bro. Yeah, so just be happy and healthy. Funny. I like to think I'm funny, but Shanice doesn't think I'm funny.
Yeah.
She laughs at all my jokes, but she doesn't think I'm funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I like to think I was pretty good at football.
Yeah.
That's what I think. I don't know what everyone else thinks. Yeah, just strong Aboriginal man, bro. Just trying to spread our culture. We're just part of the journey. And from how many years everyone says 30,000, other people say 100,000, however long.
Yeah.
Since the first sunrise, I want to be a connection from our culture. So.
No, deadly, bro. Thanks for coming on, bro.
Thank you very much, brother.
Thanks, bros.
Love you, man.
Love you too, brother.